Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, August 8th, 8:58 p.m. Wait, no, it's Thursday. Sorry. Oh well, I messed up already, but we're going to keep it in the video. It is Thursday, August 8th, 2019, 8:58 p.m. And I just want to give a couple shout out thank yous to a few people, including all of you actually. We have broken our 22,000 subscriber mark. We have done this a few times, but you know how YouTube works. It goes up, it goes down. But I just wanted to give you guys a little sight here. We passed the 22,000 mark thanks to you guys. Couldn't be more thankful, Caroline and I, to all of you for all the support you show this channel during our ups and downs and our little breaks we take here and there as we both do have to work outside of this channel. With that said, I wanted to put a special thank you out to our friend David and a friend of ours, Nick. I do not want to put last names out there yet, only because I have not gotten permission from them, but they have been the two latest contributors to the channel in a very significant way, and I really, really want to thank them. So both of you, thank you so much, both in the last week. Have done their part in showing their thankfulness for our channel, and we appreciate you guys right back, and it's why we do it. So this is going to be, I always say this, a quick one, but I want to touch base on what's going on, not only in the Pacific Ocean here, we'll talk about quickly. We do have a invest forming, 60% chance over the next 5 days. You can see it on Tropical Tidbits, and then we have what we saw yesterday, except it's yellow and it does not have the X. So right now, even though it says 20% chance, it's going to come and go fairly quickly. It looks like via Tropical Tidbits. Again, we will get into this briefly, but first we need to talk about Lekima and also Krosa. These are the two typhoons that are tearing apart the Western Pacific right now. In fact, this is where Lekima is right now as a Category 4 storm, guys. We're at 120 knots. That is just over 138 miles per hour. You could put it into the 139 area, but we are dangerously close to a Category 5 storm. In fact, if you look at this, the pressure, the centralized pressure of this storm, we're at 914. And to give you a little bit of an idea of what that means, guys, for the most part, Category 4 storms fall within a 920 to 944 millibar range. We're at 914 right now, so the pressure we're showing is equivalent to a Category 5 hurricane. There's no doubt about that. So this thing may be taking... Excuse me, this thing may be taking one more jump up as far as mile per hour and strength before we start seeing it finally weaken as it approaches the east side of China, actually. So right now, we are dealing with this thing right to the north of Taiwan. As you can see here, those rain bands are absolutely hitting there. The island chains of Japan are certainly getting smashed by this thing. They have been getting smashed as it's finally bypassed from the Philippine Sea into the East China Sea. So now this thing's in a different ocean, basically, and it has crossed this threshold of an island chain. Now, what's going to happen next is basically what you're going to see on Tropical Tidbits. And this thing is tending, it wants to roll right up the east side of China and then into this little pocket to the, west of North and South Korea, and then kind of sit there and dissipate. And we'll bring a lot of water to that area. But this initial hit to eastern China that is potential could be pretty bad if this storm stays strong. Now, again, they are expecting a weakening as this happens. So you can see right here where the L is. This is exactly where the storm is right now. Coincidentally, we had an earthquake in this exact area today. A 5.1 earthquake in the exact area where this typhoon is. In fact, they're dealing with two earthquakes in Japan, technically Japan, the island chain of Japan. This is Taiwan here, North and South Korea, and then East China. This is the East China Sea. This is the Philippine Sea. So you could see how the typhoon, basically, as you can mark with this earthquake mark here, this 5.1 that took place, over 100 kilometers in depth, which could mean more shallow earthquakes in the very near future along this fault line, which we have seen and have been seeing, especially down towards the Papua New Guinea, Indonesia area. We all know how that's been going. But back to the storm here. So what we're dealing with now is where this thing is going to go. Some have this thing coming right into East China. well inland, actually, in some cases, which would weaken the storm significantly. What we don't want to see is this thing ride the coast half on land, half off land. We all know what that means, too. That means that it is refueling itself with the water that is in the East China Sea and then dumping it on East China's coastlines. And then you can see here some of the charts bring this thing all the way up into that pocket to the west of North and South Korea, pretty much leaving Japan out of this as far as the mainland goes. The islands have already been hit. They are still getting hit. So yes, Japan has partially been hit by this storm and Taiwan as well. And now we're waiting for a possible landfall on the east side of China. As far as Krosa goes, Typhoon Krosa, we are at 95 knots, which would bring it to 109 miles per hour, making it a Category 2. According to the Saffir-Simpson scale, this is our second typhoon that we also covered yesterday. Again, this is a follow-up to what we were talking about yesterday, and this storm is actually moving in a northwestern direction towards the mainland of China and is expected to get pushed off into the east, back into the Pacific Ocean before making landfall. But some of these spaghetti models have me pretty concerned about certain places such as Tokyo, this very, very deep black line you see here, which is what they're favoring this typhoon to do. Looks like it's heading right for Tokyo in the coming days. And again, this is another storm that they're expecting, hopefully to weaken as it approaches land, if it gets to land at all. We can see some of these spaghetti plots have this thing shooting back out into the ocean like we saw yesterday, but a big change since yesterday, as a lot of these plots now have it not only going in to the mainland of Japan, but actually some of them bringing it around Japan, putting South Korea at risk, and then North Korea, and then who knows where this thing's going to go. It's all depending on when that pressure, that high pressure, just like we have in the U.S., like a jet stream, is going to push this thing out. Now, it's not going to be there quick enough in time to push Lekima out. If anything, it's going to aid Lekima in staying in water as it rides up the east coast of China. We can see a few of the latest frames of Lekima here as it is passing just over Taiwan right now, which you can see here outlined in purple through the Japan Strip Islands down here, and now making its way into the East China Sea. A very good structure in this storm, as we can see when the daylight was on there. Perfect eye formation there, and this thing is going to hold shape until it makes a landfall or decides to ride up that coast. So we have a very significant storm. This thing has its ups and downs as far as speeds. It had a dramatic increase in strength overnight 2 nights ago, and then a little bit of a downgrade, and now back to an upgrade to a Category 4 as of right now. We could see this thing potentially hit Category 5, and I did say this last night. I didn't want to guarantee anything. I don't like doing that, but with that low pressure of 919, that is when you see your Category 5 storms. If you guys remember, 919 is very capable of producing a Category 5 or 155 mile an hour winds plus. So more wind than 155 would put it in a Category 5, well into Category 5, if that is the case. Now, as far as Krosa goes, we kind of know what's going to happen with that as far as the details we have right now. Being a Category 2 storm, we're at 95 knots. That puts at 109 miles an hour, like we said. So we are just in that area of extensive damage as a Category 2 storm typhoon. Again, we're using the Saffir-Simpson scale, which we use in the U.S. For the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Still, no difference. The category will be the same. The wind speeds will be the same. There's no difference here. And it's very important to understand the pressure. When you see a low pressure like 919, the next thing you can expect in the next update, like we would do here in the U.S. when we're waiting for each update every few hours as they fly the planes in and things like that, you could see another rise in knots or how they're measuring the speed of this the vortex, basically the central area, the 75 miles that sticks out of the eye of this typhoon. And you can see here article after article after article. Taiwan orders markets, schools to close Friday as Typhoon Lekima approaches. That's from CNA. YouTube, we got Taiwan braces for Typhoon Lekima after being hit by twin earthquakes. We did look at one of those, the 5.1. I believe it was a 5.3 when it first happened. And then, of course, we got CNN 16 hours ago. Taiwan and Japan braced for a potential super typhoon. And super typhoon would be anything from Category 1 up. And again, just check out the placement right here as of right now as compared to where this earthquake was. How interesting is that? It's happened before. I'm not saying it's totally crazy for that situation to be real, but I mean, what are the chances? You know, like what more can a place deal with? And then don't forget that volcano that is currently going off in Japan as well. So with that said, guys, I just wanted to get this update out there. I know I said I'd be talking about the U.S. a little more, but let's talk about this real quick before I let you guys go, and that is the possible invest we have in the Pacific now. So this was unmarked with no X yesterday. It was just an orange field, but now we have an X with a 60% chance of cyclone formation over the next 5 days. My concern here with this storm is that it is already shown to move in a northern direction. I always call this 20-degree north area the hit or miss zone. Unless a storm gains its strength and basically becomes a Category 4 or 5, the chances of it making it up towards an area like California or even the northwestern part of Mexico and the Baja region here, it needs a lot of momentum to make it up there as a strong storm as you immediately hit cooler water once you pass the 20-degree north line here. Now, this one does not have an X, which means it may come and go. It may not be anything, but they are showing a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 5 days. So we do have an area of the Pacific Ocean to watch, and actually have it set up here for you that we can look at and just see what we might see from these two storms. Now, we're at current time right now on the 8th. That is August 8th. Thursday, August 8th, not Friday, as I said before. Remember, it is Thursday today. So you can see the first of the two coming out right there. It drops to 999 from 103, and it kind of rises north fairly quickly. So you can see the second it passes this 20-degree north line, they tend to just break down. The water is just too cool out here. The shear winds going on in this area are pretty strong at the moment, so not much is going to live past anything north of the 20-degree north line. Now, this second one here is, I believe, the 60% chance of cyclone formation because it's staying below that 20-degree north line. It's staying in warmer water, and it looks like it's heading towards the Hawaiian area. So this is certainly something we're going to be checking out at the same time as we watch this Typhoon Lekima finally make landfall, more than likely around the east end of China right here. And then it's going to sit up in here and just drench the west coast of North and South Korea. And you name it, anything up in this area is game on for this storm. And then if it decides to hook out, this area is also primed and ready to go. As we could see that Krosa is thriving in this as well, as has strengthened since yesterday. So with that said, that is the update for now, guys. We have some going on in the United States. In fact, as I was making the video last night, I had somebody comment shortly after that there was an EF0 tornado spotted either right off the coast or right on New Jersey's border here. And I think I caught it on radar scope as we were doing the video, but I did not point it out. I'm going to have to go back and check that out, but they did confirm an EF0 tornado in New Jersey, possibly two. I need to look into that and double check. But with that said, guys, that's what I have for you for now. I want to go live. I'm trying to get enough information together so we have a decent topic to talk about, or we could just hang out and BS. That's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that every so often. So before I let you guys go, we'll take a quick look at the U.S. as far as earthquakes go. We still have this little swarm going on in Southern California. It has calmed down a bit, but the fact that it's still there and there's still earthquakes on a daily basis in this area, it's going to be an area we're going to watch nonstop. And last but not least, if you guys remember yesterday, we talked about, in fact, let me pull the picture up. this buoy here that was actually activated yesterday right on the border out in the ocean, obviously off the coast of Canada and then Washington. This buoy was set off. It was not due to an earthquake, of my knowledge. I did reach out to some people for some answers. I had one commenter, I believe, said something along the lines that two possible rogue waves may have hit this buoy, causing it to trigger. That is a possibility. Then again, it could have been an earthquake that was unreported. We just don't know. I can't get enough information to finalize exactly why this buoy was set off. It's been 24 hours, so it is now not activated, but this thing was set off, and they go off for 24 hours without an explanation that I know of. I did reach out to everyone that I knew that would know anything about that, and I have not received an answer besides a commenter on my last video saying it had to be, or was possibly, two different waves hitting each other at the same time, almost like a rogue wave hitting another rogue wave, and then it pops up right in the middle and shoots the buoy up and activates its sensors. They're very sensitive to water depth changes. That's what they're there for, and that's why it went off. So maybe we'll get some more information with that in the near future. And besides that, we got a little bit of severe weather going on moving into West Virginia at the moment now. If anything becomes of that, I will certainly jump on and let you guys know. But my main topic here today, I wanted to get you updated on these typhoons that are certainly going to be a pain for many places: Taiwan, East China, Japan, and then possibly the Koreas as well. And the reason you're seeing some skipping here is because some of the frames are just not working correctly, but you can get an idea of the shape of this thing as the sun hits it. You see those high top clouds, nice eye wall still. Maybe filling in a little bit. That could be due to the beginning of the weakening, but then again, we're still in Category 4 range. So, and with that 919 millibar pressure, we could be seeing this thing jump up another 10 miles an hour before it starts to weaken. And if that's the case, we could see this thing potentially hit CAT5. Let's hope not, but that's what I got for you for now, guys. Hope everyone's well. Thank you so much to David and Nick again, and of course, everyone else who has contributed to our channel. We can't thank you enough. It means the world to us, and you guys know that. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch.